Hello, welcome everybody to the Syngenta Flowers APAC technical webinar for the tropical regions. Today we're going to discuss our Gazanias, and as you can see, our background has turned into a very holy image where the beams shoot out of our head. But if I move a little bit away, you can see that this is a beautiful image of a Gazania, and I think that's the hand of Ivan showing the nice flower leaves. So Gazania is one of my favorite flowers. We don't see them that often in the Netherlands, but I never knew that these flowers close in the night. So when I saw that for the first time, I was very surprised. And I'm very curious if this is a difficult plant to grow and what kind of tips and tricks Ivan has for us to share. So, Ivan, floor is yours. Take it away.
Thank you, Michael, and thank you for the nice introduction and funny fact about the Gazania, because Gazania really sensitive to the light intensity. It also can close not only to the night, also to, in the shading condition, too shady condition before the rain, for instance. And so that's why it is a nice tool how to forecast the rain. If the Gazania start to close the flowers in the midday, it means the rain will come. So that's also can be how to say it, useful feature of the Gazania. And of course, everybody who will join today are welcomed, and I will happy to see the flower lovers and the growers and the professional big professional growers and the customers as well. And let's start with the Gazania. And of course, today we will talk not only about the technical tips, and as announcement, I would like to say, today you will not hear about which kind of problem coming with Gazania, which kind of different and very hard disease can come to Gazania, because Gazania, it's very nice crop, it's very sustainable crop. Yes, of course, we will talk about diseases, we will talk about some kind of the technical optimal conditions for Gazania, but in general, Gazania is a crop for the new growers, for the way to say, the not experienced growers, and this is a crop I advise for many growers who wants to start with a flower, who wants to come into the flower business. And let's start to talk about the Gazania. I can say we have, as a Syngenta, we have a largest portfolio of Gazani, because no one breeding company has so many variety, so many series, and of course so many varieties. Here you can find not so many, not like for like we have for begonia, not so many like we have for petunia, for instance. But here you can find even the 4 separate series, which the quite plenty with separate colors. And as I mentioned formerly, no one grower has a same wide assortment of Gazania. And here in the table, you can find the list of series, which started from the smallest one, from the keys, and finishing with the Gazoo is the largest Gazania. And the difference not only with the plant size. The difference came also from the genetic, because keys, frosty keys, and big keys is F1 Gazania. Also, Syngenta is a pioneer breeding company in the Gazania series, because we have we only a company who has a free F1 series in the assortment. And of course, Gazoo is a as per my experience, is a most fantastic, despite of this series is not F1, but this is fantastic. By the way, in my background and the Michael background, you can see the flower of Gazoo, and here you can see the really the huge and really large flower of this variety. And let's start to talk about the how it looks like. Let's enjoy the pictures. And of course, please not forget to visit our catalog. In page 44 you can find more interesting features, more interesting benefits which display there and explained in a text as well. And with by this link, by this QR code, you can find a page in the flipping books in the internet. And let's start with a table with a nice pictures. First variety is a kiss. It has a green leaves and it has exceptional uniformity between the different colors because it is F1 hybrid, and so that's why it's very uniform in a flowering time, in a plant shape, in the development, in the plant size, of course. And here we have a largest series in our among our Gazanias. It has already 9 colors and one mix. Next one is made to say the twins of this Gazania, but with the silver leaves. So Frosty Kiss, it called Frosty because leaves look like covered with a frost. But interesting thing, the Gazania came from the North American deserts, and sometime it can really get a frost. It can really get a small ice crystal in the leaves when the temperature, sometimes temperature can drop down below the zero in the place where Gazania growing. So that's why you can find, if you will visit the US, you can find the Gazania in a wild condition, and sometimes you can find that with a frost. And in this series, we already has 6 separate colors and 2 mixes, flame and the common mix. And next one is a big keys. We had formerly we had only keys, but in the idea when the grower, when the breeder thought about improvements of the series, they found the flower size of the keys and frosty keys not large enough. Not large as we had in the Gazoo series, because Gazoo is very exceptional series in the flower size. It's the largest. It has the largest flower in the market, to be honest. And we thought how we can improve the F1 series to reach out the same or similar flower size in the F1 series, and that's how created. That was an idea to create a big keys, and in the keys we have a very exceptional uniformity with large flowers. And here you can see the example of the flame coloration of the petals. And in this series we already have a 7 colors and one mix. And the last one, but not least, I mean, the picture is, is not the last one as well. Here you can see the Gazania red. Even with the red color, it has a very large flowers because Gazania has a interesting specific red colored flowers. It's slightly smaller than others, but even in red colors, Gazoo has the largest flower among the other Gazanias. And in Gazoo we have 6 colors and one mix. In mix, there are many colors available in the mix, like a pink one, and like a primrose color or lime color, which is not yet available in the separate colors, but in the mix you can find a very interesting colors which can be supplemental to the common assortment of the Gazania. And let's start to talk about the championship of the Gazania. This is nice topic I added formerly for begonias, and I would like to continue with that topic. And I would like to share some kind of interesting facts about our Gazanias. The first fact. Here in the picture, you can see the plant. You can calculate there are 9 flowers in one plant. Here in that pot, you can see my hand. There are only one plant. There is only one plant in that pot, and this plant already brought 9 open flowers. So the Gazania is a champion in the flower per one plant. Um, let's say the second interesting fact. The Gazoo has a very exceptional and very large flower size. And here you can see my hand. I highlighting the 2 flowers in the 2 inflorescence in general, to be honest. And this inflorescence reach out more than 12 centimeters in the diameter. So you can imagine how is it large. And of course, please look at the my background again, and there you can find a really nice, really exceptional performance of the Gazania flowers. And of course, I'm not made to say the frost tolerant, but we can talk about the cold tolerant. As I explained, Gazania originally from the US deserts. They're able to handle a very extreme hot temperature. And we mark these varieties, all that varieties of Gazania, as a hot tolerant crop. But in general, at the same time, Gazania also the cold tolerant crop. It's able to handle really low temperature. And here you can see, here is a really plants of Gazania that grow in the temperature at the nighttime, which drop below the 8 degrees in outside and below the 10 degrees in the greenhouse. So that's why Gazania is very efficient crop. In the northern part of the countries, South Asia and Southeast Asia countries, you're able to grow in the northern part of the countries, even without heating. Of course, Gazania needs to be heat when the temperature will drop below the zero. So you must do anyway to heat the greenhouse, your greenhouse. But to be honest, this is good crop to save the energy, to save the fuel, to save the expense for the heating of the greenhouse. So this is a good feature, and this is exceptional performance of this plant, which help us which help to grow which help grower to start with the flowers, because Gazania is really strong crop. It's really sustainable and really made to say nice crop to start with. And let's talk about which is a critical things how to be successful with Gazania. And of course, I choose the top five critical things for the Gazania. Here you can find please avoid the saturation media during the germination stage. Provide porous substrate. The Gazania root likes to breathe well. It likes enough concentration of oxygen. And please remember the Gazania is crown plant, so please handle it properly, like for other crown plants should be, and keep plants drier. Again, Gazania really not like to be overwatered. So as you remember, Gazania is a really desert plant. It's is native from the North American desert, so that's why please try to keep it far from the saturation in the substrate. And last but not least, feed the plants well, because Gazania really likes to eat a lot of fertilizer. And let's start one by one to talk about every stage of this crop. And of course, don't forget to visit our YouTube channel, where you can find other recordings of webinars, and you can find many insights for other crops. We already created more than 20 webinars, and so you can find the interesting information there about other crops. And let's start to talk about the germination process, how to provide the proper condition for the germination stage. Of course, I suggest to sow Gazania into the trays, but of course it is possible to sow Gazania not only in the trays with the cells. You can sow it in the trays without cells, or in a pot, or in a bed, but this is a perfect condition how to create a better seedling. So that's why I advise to use, if it's possible, 288 cells trays for Gazania. This is suitable size, and because germination rate of Gazania is about 85-90%, you not need to keep the more than one seeds per plug. And let's start to talk about, is it necessary to cover the seeds? Yes, it is necessary. It's possible to cover with a thin layer of substrate, or with a vermiculite. it is also applicable. And as because Gazania not require the light for germination, you're able to provide a not too thin layer, the common thickness of the coverage material, and germination chamber is useful, but not recommended. It's not recommended strictly. It is optional. And the temperature during germination stage should be within 21 up to 24%. So here you can see this is a very nice very nice news about the temperature range, because in some places it is very difficult to find the cold area and cold corner to sow the and to create the proper condition. So that's why Gazani is very nice crop for beginners. You can keep it even with the when the temperature reach up to 23, 24, and sometimes 25, of course. And please not overwater Gazania even in the germination stage. For most of the crop, we are recommending the saturated level of the substrate watering. How to say it? But for Gazania, this plant not require saturated stage during the sowing or right after the sowing. Keep the wet level keep the level 4 or wet level of the substrate, and don't let the water be visible on the surface. So Gazania not really like to receive too much water even on the germination stage. And if you will overwater this overwater Gazania, Gazania can drop germination level. And the next one is a substrate, of course. For Gazania, applicable any kind of substrate, even the natural substrate is okay with Gazania, but try to avoid the substrate with a very big size of the particles. So that's why I advise to avoid rice husk, because rice husk is too, it has a too big particles, because it is husk, it is entire husk of the, which covering the rice corn. And provide a good, at the same time, please provide for Gazania good porousness of the substrate. So please add the perlite, sand, or zeolite in the range about the 30%. But please not add the vermiculite, because vermiculite has a too high pH in general. So please avoid to apply vermiculite as a premixture to the substrate. And here I would like to display, as for other crops I did formerly, different mixes which is applicable for Gazania. Of course, ideal is a common mix, and this is a very practical mixture. It's 70% of cocoa and 30% of perlite. And of course, to reduce because many growers like to reduce the expense for the growing. So I can advise to, yes, you can mix the cocoa peat together with a natural soil, but please don't forget to make a sanitation process for the natural soil. You can be confident that natural soil don't has a lot of the spores and the myceliums of the different fungi, which able to destroy or damage the seeds. And of course, pH range. pH range in the beginning, I would like to announce, Gazania is the same crop like Tagetes. It needs to, the pH for this crop need to be changed, depends on the stage. In the young plant stage, it must be grown in the substrate with a pH 5.5, 5.9. And later on, after transplanting, it should be increased. So, but anyway, for the beginning, for the sowing, please provide slightly acid substrate for the Gazania. And let's start to talk about the general condition, how we can receive the good plants, good seedlings. And let's talk about the temperature range. For the day and night, at this stage, it should be mostly equal. 90-20 and 90-20, the same temperature in the night. Gazania, sometime it is possible to increase the temperature. I call this range of the temperature suboptimal range. It can be increased up to 23, 24. But if you keep lower temperature, keep this optimal range for Gazania, you will receive the seedlings faster. Of course, it is not problem with Gazania to provide a higher temperature, but keep in mind, if you are not able to keep the temperature within a optimal diapason, optimal range, the Gazania will take a bit longer time to develop normal seedlings, and it likes little shading at this stage. So 25 30 kilolux is optimal range, and of course Gazania is a light lover, and it is possible to keep it even little bit higher, 30 or 40 kilolux. And in this stage, in the seedling stage, moisture should be between 3 and 2. Not try to avoid wet stage. So it is better to keep Gazania in the dry side. And so within 6 weeks, if any kind of condition in general in the optimal range, Gazania will develop the nice seedlings. Here you can find a lot of trays with a nice, well-developed seedlings of the Gazania ready to transplanting. And let's talk about how to fertigate, and which you have to keep in mind to reach out the good seedlings in Gazania. Gazania likes to eat, as I said formerly, it really likes to eat. So provide a 75 or 125 ppm of nitrogen. If we recalculate on the NPK in the gram per liter of NPK, we will receive 0.51 gram per liter of NPK with a range like 70 is nitrogen, 5 is phosphorus, and 17 is potassium, or 15, 5, 15. So don't apply clean water for Gazania, because if you will apply clean water, Gazania not only be stressed, it will start to stretch the leaves. And optimal EC in the water should be, with every watering, don't forget that, 1.5 or 1.7. And sometimes, if you have a very sunny condition, and especially very sunny and hot condition, provide up to 2 millisiemens per centimeter. And please keep the substrate saturated media extract on the level 0.5, 0.75. I would like to step out here and a little bit recall you why I talking about the 2 type of EC. We have a 2 EC, one in the water and second one in the substrate. In the water, it means how many fertilizer you give into the plant. And in the substrate, this is a picture which displays how plant eating that fertilizer. So the EC in the substrate you must to use to understand how plant utilized that fertilizer. So this is a control EC. EC in the water, this is what you give into the plant. And EC in the substrate, this is a control to check how plant ate all the fertilizer that you gave to that plant. So if the substrate EC will drop below 0.5, it means plant really hungry. If it grows up more than 8, more than 0.75, it means plant not able to utilize all the fertilizer. And so you must to decrease the fertilizer, to decrease EC level in the water. For the next watering, you have to apply that little bit less fertilizer. And of course, we talked about the saturated media extract analyze in the substrate. And here you can see in the picture, you can see the plant received a slightly thinner and slightly stretched leaf. That came in the cases when clean water or low level of EC provided to the plants. So try to avoid this kind of application, and never apply clean water for the Gazania and for most of the crops as well, to avoid stretching and to avoid the forming of the thin leaves in Gazania seedlings. And let's talk already about the transplanting. when to transplant and how to transplant. How to recognize when the plant ready to be transplanted, because Gazania has a slightly longer leaf than other crops, and we cannot follow the common sentence or common rule to indicate the transplanting. It means this role calling like let the plant to talk, but not let them to touch each other. So in this case, we're not able to follow these rules. We're not able to recognize the proper stage for transplanting when the plants starting to touch each other. The beta here, I would like to indicate that when the seedlings need to be transplanted, the 3 or 4 leaves, when the plant receive a 3 well-developed normal leaves or 4 well-developed leaves, it already must be transplanted. So here you can see the plants transplanted 1 week ago. In the right picture, you can see the plant already start to develop new additional leaves. And this stage you can see in the left picture. This is a proper stage to transplanting in the next containers. And let's start to talk about how to transplant. Please remember, here is a reminder in the right corner, in the right lower corner. The Gazania is a crown crop. It means it forming the crown with the leaves, and it had a very short shoots. So that's why please keep in mind, never bury the tips of the plant or tips of the stem below the substrate level. So root ball should be, I mean, the top of the root ball or substrate of the root ball should be in the same level like you have in the new containers. So please don't bury the plant tips below the substrate because the plant tips is quite sensitive, and it of course sensitive to the overwatering. And if you will apply the watering, and if the plant tips will be buried below the substrate, it will be injured because of the overwatering. It's quite logical. So that's why please remember the Gazania is crown plant. And let's start to talk how many plants. Of course, the common containers or common or advised container size is packs or 10 12 centimeters containers, like a half of liter or 1 liter containers. But Gazania, it is quite flexible crop. It's possible to use it in even the larger containers, like 6 liter hanging baskets or 2 liters containers. But please keep in mind that you need to apply a bit more plants per 1 pot. And of course, here in the picture, you can find even 35 centimeters, about the 10 liter containers filled with the 7 plants. And you can see the plants really very easily fit in these kind of containers, these large containers. So here you can use a table as a reference to understand how many plants need to be filled in the proper container to achieve the normal size of the plants and a good view and a good look of the that plants in the particular containers. And let's talk about the next items, how to create a condition. And of course, please not forget the Gazania is a very perfect crop for landscaping. And here in the bottom of the slides, I display the distance, which is a optimal distance between the plants in the landscaping, because the Gazania, especially, please keep the Gazania as a focus crop for the dry and hot condition. In that condition, Gazania very well play in the containers, or sorry, in the landscape. And let's talk about the general condition, how to create the ideal or optimal condition to the Gazania. Gazania, of course, we will start to talk about the temperature. Here you can see the optimal temperature. Again, please keep in mind, Gazania is a really desert crop, is a really hot tolerant crop. So that's why it will not bring a lot of problem if you reach or phased out the situation when the temperature will rise above the 24 or even 25 degrees. Gazania really able to handle even higher temperature. And the light intensity, of course, already should be even higher, because in the nature, Gazania able to handle more than 100 lux. So 60 or 80 lux will be perfectly for the Gazania. And again, please keep Gazania on the dry side, not over water, and let the dry substrate between the before the next watering. It will help to create a more compact plants. It will help to avoid stretching, and it will fit Gazania's requirements, because again, Gazania is a desert crop. And of course, as I formerly mentioned about the suboptimal temperature, here in the another frame uh, on the temperature range, you can find the suboptimal range for the Gazania. So it's able to reach up more than 25 degrees. And how to fertigate? Gazania, as a more other crop, has a different stages of the development. After transplanting, Gazania start to develop additional leaves. And when it finished to develop additional leaf, it start to form the flower buds. And since that time, Gazania needs to get more potassium than nitrogen. But before flower bud appears on the top of the plant, on the top of the plants, please promote the plant growth with a equal level between equal range between the nitrogen and potassium. And in this stage, Gazania requires even the higher concentration of the fertilizer. Here you can see even 125 and 175 ppm of nitrogen is optimal for the Gazania. And if you will recalculate to the gram per liter, it will give eight about 1 gram per liter, or even higher, 1.3 gram per liter. And please provide the NPK with a equal range between the nitrogen and potassium. And optimal EC in the water must be already 1.7 up to 2.5. In a sunny condition, it is sometimes necessary to increase the EC level in the water even more than 2. So for Gazania, it's not problem to provide more fertilizer. It will fed plant will be fit enough. And in the right picture, you see the plant really forms really compact leaves. It's not too stretchy, as because the grower provided rather high concentration of the fertilizer, and not never apply the clean water. And let's talk again about the pH. pH, as I said formerly, Gazani is little bit unusual crop. The pH need to be increased on the second stage after transplanting. And here you can see the optimal range, 5.8 or 6.2. And the next stage, the next stage is when the plants start to show the flower buds on the tips. Here you can find how plant looks like. In this stage, you already can find the flower buds on the top of the plants. And even if the flower buds became visible, not even on the top, you must change the NPK range, but please provide the same concentration of the fertilizer, 1.7, 2.5, but you need to change nitrogen and the potassium range. So at this stage, when the plants start to form the flowers, it requires more potassium. So that's why NPK should be changed to for instance, 18,540 or 17,530. So range between the nitrogen and potassium should be 1 to 1.5 or 1 to 2. It means provide additional potassium. Which kind of form suitable for that? Potassium sulfate will be suitable for this stage of the Gazania, because sometimes it's difficult to find the proper proper component in the different places in different countries. But potassium sulfate is one of the magical pill how to increase the potassium in the fertilizer mixture. And I would like to show the reminder and highlight the reminder how to use a good fertigation practice. Again, never apply clean water. And of course, for Gazania, it's really critical. So if you will never apply clean water or low fertilizer concentration in the water, you will be successful with the Gazania and you will be best grower of the Gazania. Provide recommended EC. Again, recommended EC, it should be already for the in the final stage, should be already above the 1.5. And of course, don't forget for the optimal pH range. For Gazania, it can be increased. And again, as I mentioned it, that for Tagetes, this is very how to say this very comfortable crop for the beginners, because normally in the substrate, when they apply a lot of many types of watering, pH naturally will be increased. So Gazania in this kind of their requirement, it's very convenient crop, because you not need to think a lot about the pH, because pH will be naturally increased with the time. And so that's why Gazania not will be damaged by the high pH, because in the final stage it really requires a little bit higher pH than in the previous stage. And please don't forget to apply calcium and magnesium every week, and don't apply too much phosphorus. And let's talk about calcium and magnesium, as because the Gazania is a crop which likes to receive the higher pH. So after transplanting, it needs to get more free calcium and magnesium more frequently. And the calcium will help to create a more stronger plant, less stretchy plant, and at the same time it will provide a bit higher pH like Gazania requires. And here you can find the example. This is not direct advice how to apply the fertilizer. It's the picture how to apply. For instance, what you can find in this table again. Here for every week you can find the average level of the EC, and the EC should be slightly increased up to the since the plant get developed more, and the calcium and magnesium nitrate should be applied every week. So here you can see the with arrow I highlighted when it should be. And another information you can find in this example: calcium and magnesium must be given in the same concentration as the other NPK. So you apply NPK, for instance, 5 days, and the next application should be with the calcium and magnesium. So you can you need change NPK on the calcium and magnesium in the water. You must to dissolve the calcium and magnesium mixture. It is possible to apply the range between the calcium and magnesium nitrate one by one in a mass, and it must be added in the same concentration as you previously used the NPK range. And another thing, approximately within a month after transplanting, Gazania turning to the blooming stage, turning to it start to form in the bud. So at this time is critical to indicate when you need to change NPK from equal range between the nitrogen and potassium to the excess of potassium, because again, Gazania as a very floriferous crop requires more potassium to form in the petals, to absorb the more water and to save the more water inside the plant. So if you provide if you will follow up these rules in the fertigation, you will receive very nice plants, very floriferous plants, and even you can find 6 or more flowers per one plant, as I displayed in my first slides. And of course, don't apply too much phosphorus for Gazania, because phosphorus can bring a problem with the absorption of the microelements, and excess of phosphorus will decrease the pH too much, and pH can be dropped below the 5.5 if you apply too much phosphorus. And let's talk briefly about the diseases. As I formally say, Gazania not really sensitive to many kind of diseases, because to let the Gazania to really sickness condition, to really illness condition, you need to treat Gazania too much. So, but anyway, you can face the problem, especially with the botrytis. If the Gazania form too much leaves on the plant, and too dense leaves, sometimes with especially dripping from the tip of the greenhouses, or with the overhead watering, sometimes it can get a problem with the botrytis. So to avoid the botrytis, please find the proper chemicals in this table. In this table, I provided not the commercial names of the chemicals, but I provided the active ingredient name with a proper concentration in the chemicals. And using this information, using this name, you can find the proper chemical in your particular market, in your particular place. And please don't forget, when you are applying any kind of chemicals, first regulation is rotate active ingredient quite oftenly. It means not apply more than 3 times the same active ingredient, to avoid appearance of any kind of fungal, any kind of resistance uh, which can came after the repeated application of the chemicals. And please don't forget to check phytotoxicity, especially if you apply the new chemicals. You have to take few plants, apply the new chemicals on that plants in the recommended concentration, and if you will not see any kind of damage on the plant, if you will not find the next day, you can apply for other plants. So this is a common rules. Every time I repeating every webinar, I repeating these rules, and this will help you to avoid any dramatical problem if you apply the improper chemical, or if you apply new chemical, or if you apply the chemical which is not really to say it, not really good quality chemical, or stored not in the proper condition. Because sometimes even with the same chemical, we can find some kind of problem if that chemical stored in the improper condition, for instance into high temperature, or too longer than it's recommended. For instance, you bought chemical once and you stored more than 3 years, and since the time chemical can decay, and the product of decay can damage the plant. So that's why if you applying the chemical, I recommend to start with a phytotoxicity, to check the phytotoxicity. And how long Gazania takes, how long it takes to grow, to receive the flower, to get the flowers since the sowing time. Here you can find most of the series, I mean to say all of the series, takes the same time in general from the germination up to ready plant. So here you can find that in this table, I mentioned just only one row where you can find how many weeks it takes from the transplanting up to ready plants, and how many times the crop, the Gazania crop, take from sowing time up to ready plants. And here you can find the timelines of the crop. I not keep here today the table about the requirements and any kind of condition should be provided for the Gazania, like I did formerly for Begonia, only because the Gazania takes too long time, and table becomes too large. So, but I provide the timeline for the crop to indicate, and you can use this timeline to create your own schedule. Germination takes about 1 week. In general, it takes 5-6 days. but we can calculate. We can consider it like 1 week. 5-6 weeks it takes to develop good seedlings in the proper stage, and 8-11 weeks it takes to get first flower buds. And of course, the final stage, it is blooming stage. And I can say the small secret of Gazania. Gazania is biologically perennial crop. Is not annual. Is used as annuals, especially in the northern in the northern hemisphere, in the may to say the moderate climate. It using like an annual crop, but in many tropical areas, it can be used as a perennial crop, because biologically Gazania is a perennial crop, and especially if you provide a dry condition, rather dry condition for the Gazania. So Gazania able to grow more than 3 months since you transplant it into the landscaping. So here I would like to finalize my explanation. So I hope you understand that Gazania is not really difficult crop, and so that's why I like to advise this crop for the beginners, for the starting of the starting with the flower business. And this is very convenient crop for that. And I would like to say thank you, and please not forget to reach out your key account manager if you have some kind of question, or if you would like to buy the seeds. And please reach out me if you have any kind of technical question. Here you can find the contact information, and please take time to visit our website, where you can find the information not only about the Gazania. And here I would like to say thank you for everyone, and wish a good season and good growing time for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ivan. I expect to see a lot of Gazanias growing all throughout of APAC in the coming season. So really looking forward to that. And thanks again for a very interesting webinar. Have a nice day. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.